We're literally seeing an epidemic of these issues in the United States right now.
Dr. Robert Melillo is the co-founder of Brain Balance Centers.
1 out of every 10 children in the United States now is diagnosed with ADHD, and that's a real increase.
My name is Dr. Robert Melillo. My life's mission is to help kids and families with special needs. My wife, Carolyn, makes it all possible. Welcome to our family.
Hello, welcome to our show. I'm Dr. Robert Melillo, and this is my wife, Carolyn. Today we're talking about autism. So we're going to start off with what's making headlines. So one of the things that was out there, starting off with good news, is that there was an article recently that many companies, especially tech companies, are starting to hire people specifically with autism because they have such a high skill in math and science and attention to detail.
Which is fantastic because all parents wonder, will my child go out in the work field? Will they be self-sufficient? And this is fantastic news because there are so many tech companies hiring right now, a lot of Wall Street statistical firms that love these brilliant math minds. So that's great news.
It is. It's great news. And you know, there's a lot of controversy, let's say, in this community right now with people like that who are very high functioning, who really say, you know, I'm good. I don't want to be fixed. There's nothing wrong with me. Just accept me for who I am.
Well, I think that they also think that there's nothing that can be done. And we all know that when you have such high left brain skills, there's an imbalance. You don't lose your high left brain skills. You just bring up your social, all the other sides, the right side of the brain, and people probably think there's nothing that can be done.
That's very important. So that if they have that option out there and they realize it's an option, that's a good thing. So if they want to improve those weaknesses, like we all do, they have that option. The other thing that's in the news, which is interesting, was that another study came out showing that a woman on antidepressants has an increased risk of having a child with autism. The study showed that there was about a 400% increased risk of a woman having a child with autism if she's taking antidepressants during pregnancy or before pregnancy.
But how would somebody know if the depression causes the autism or the antidepressants cause the autism? I mean, they're both contributing factors, aren't they?
Yeah, you're exactly right. There's been other studies that showed that depression alone actually do it. And we know what depression is an imbalance in the brain, basically. Right. Usually the left brain is low, but sometimes it can be the right brain as well. But that's a good thing. So what we really need to do is look at the other things that are treating it without drugs, right? So
like
things
chiropractic
or functional neurology, which is what we do, or kind of the science behind what we do at Brain Balance. Do things that are going to balance out the brain without the use of drugs that can really be helpful.
Okay, we're going to go to Twitter now. It's time to hear from It's an ADHD Life, who suggests removing sensory input, dim lights, earplugs, nice smells, soft music and soft talking, weight therapy, all help a child. What do you think about that?
Well, you know, there are two ways to approach it. One is you can compensate for disability by giving things like, taking away things that might stimulate them. But in fact, when we look at ADHD, it's really a lack of stimulation in the right side of the brain. So what we see is there's this imbalance. So they may be hypersensitive to certain sounds, but they're undersensitive to others. So the key is not to avoid sensory stimulation, but to give sensory stimulation in the right way. And that's really the key. So if we take away, that's not great. So stay tuned, because when we come back, Jacqueline Laurita, who is one of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, joins us after the break to share the inspirational story of her son, Nicholas, who has autism. We'll be right back.